Hello, welcome again to another video. In this video I'm going to make the young Jesus. Jesus had 12 years old and he was lost from his parents in Jerusalem. So this is the second part. The first part you can check in my channel or in the descriptions below. You have the link for the first part where when Jesus' parents realized they lost Jesus. And when they came looking after him, they found him in the temple. That's the story of Jesus. You can find it in Luke 2 verse 51 to 52. And now what I'm doing down here is the sketches. I make the sketch in this blue color, which is easier for making the line art later on. So what I'm doing here now, I am making the blue lines so I can make another layer of black lines later on. So as you can see, I'm making this very fast. This is very simple. What I usually do, I don't know about other artists, I think they usually have they just start making stuff and they'll figure what they're doing in the process. Some people do that. They start doing the lines and they don't know what they're going to, where they're going to. When I started this, I had in my mind, I had this picture of Jesus seated in the bench, talking to older guys in the temple. And I tried to figure how to make his parents finding him, Mary and Joseph. So I thought I would make their faces like in the door, like they were looking for him, like we were behind them and they are just at the door when they found him. So that's why I don't know if this works. I think it works. You can see that their face is really big and it makes you feel like inside of the picture, makes you feel like you are in that scene, like with them when they found him. And this makes you wonder, why is Jesus not crying out like, oh, I lost my parents? The Bible says that he was talking to the elders and they were marveled by what he was teaching, what he was asking them. They were intrigued. How this little boy know all this stuff from the Bible? Well, we know that he is God, but it's not just because he's God. He believed, he knew from the start. Mary told him that he was the Son of God. He knew from the start that he was the Son of God. So he probably wanted to know all about his Father. When he read the Bible, he don't read it like us. When we read the Bible, we don't understand most of the stuff. We think, what is this talk? Who is this talking about? What are these prophecies about? And when Jesus reads the Bible, he thinks, oh, this is about me. These prophecies, what these words are saying, these pictures are saying, it's all about me. So he read it in different perspective, and that's why he saw things with different eyes, because he knew his identity. And that's very important to us, to know our identity as children of God, that we must be like him. Now you can see that I'm doing the black line, as you see there in the right corner, the right side. There is the layers panel, right? The layers dockers, and you have the third layer, the layer 1. I mean the first layer, which is at the bottom, is the white layer. There is nothing on it. And the second layer, layer number 2, you have the blue lines. So now I'm working on the third layer. You can mess around, you can draw anything. You don't need to worry because with the blue lines, because after we finish the black lines, I'm going to just hide that layer, or you can delete it, but I usually hide it because sometimes it's nice to see the sketches, or just to show people, in case you need to teach them. If classes, is good to show the process. In Krita, I am using Krita number 3. it's very good to draw. Why I use Krita and not Photoshop? I wish I could use Krita for everything, but right now Krita, I don't know if it's my computer, but the performance is not so good, and I found it very hard, very hard to make the coloring process in Photoshop. So I mean, in Krita it's much easier in Photoshop. I find it much easier to make the colorings in Photoshop. So maybe in the future, when they'll keep doing updates in Krita, making it a better software, I believe, maybe in the future I can use it. But right now, Photoshop is still my best bet for this. But as for drawing or for making these lines, I prefer Krita because, yeah, I use black and white tools. I use black and white lines. They are pixelated. When I zoom in, you can see, sometimes I zoom in and you see jagged lines. You see just, there's the black pixel and the white pixel. You don't see that smooth transition from the black to white, which it's called anti-aliasing, I think. Anti-aliasing, I don't know. And yeah, so there you can see there now. I'm doing the zoom thing. You can see the pixels. See there? It's the black and white thing. And it looks good, but for coloring process later on, it's a pain. It's for me at least, the way I do the coloring, it's much easier this way. It's much faster. So yeah, it's a very simple coloring. I'm not used to make very complicated colorings. I admire the other guys which make those beautiful paintings. I'm just used to make this very fast, so just good enough to illustrate the story, And in this style, you can see that I'm working like on almost out of nothing. I make the blue lines just to have an idea where to pose the artists. But as I draw, you can see that I'm making new stuff. It's because this style, I'm very used to work with this simple style, simple kind of cartoon, So I can make the lines straight in the inking. I can make it very easy. But I'm working on another video right now, and it's a different style. It's a more of a comics approach, and you will see that I take a long time on the blue lines because there's a lot of details. I need to know where to place everything, where to place the hands and every detail, every part of the bodies. So in this style, I'm very confident, and I'm working very easy. And that's it. Now you can see the final drawing. You can see without the blue lines how it looks like. It looks neat, it looks clean from when you zoom out, and I hope that you like it. Thanks for watching, and see you. And oh yes, and please consider subscribing.